Welcome to IT Live on this beautiful Monday, and it is, of course, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Eric, Nalene, Coach Dub. Everyone's in a wonderful mood today. I'm sure you guys will have a lot of fun. Good morning, Jose. Good morning to Roaster. Of course, we're going to talk Texas offense, Texas defense, and then Eric just dropped a piece over on IT that was really illuminating from someone on the other side, on UTEP's side, kind of trying to break down Texas and what they thought of Texas. And I thought it was fairly accurate. You can read that whole thing over at InsideTexas.com. You can join for just $1 and you'll get a full year of access to The Athletic. We don't give you everything here, guys. You need to sign up and hang out with your fellow Longhorn fans. Our man, Andre the lawyer, guess what he's doing, guys? Ticket giveaway, Sam Houston State game, giving away 2 tickets. This is all for free. There's going to be rules to enter on Instagram, but 2 tickets, really good section, and a parking pass, guys. So shout out Andre the lawyer. How to enter, I have the link down in the description already. Go to the Inside Texas Instagram. That's where you will see a graphic that looks similar to this with all the rules to enter. Like the post, follow Andre and IT, and then tag a friend to increase your entries, all of that. But if you click down in the description below, I already have the link up there. It'll take you and you can enter. Make sure you pay attention to all the rules and all that stuff. But thank you so much, Andre. It's a really cool thing he's doing for you guys.
Andre's as frustrated as anybody, I guarantee you that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love him on the board. He's awesome. All right. Let's just talk thoughts first, and then we'll get into the – no, actually, I think the UTEP's a good place setter to jump off with a conversation. Eric, do you just want to talk about the initial quote, and then we can go from there?
Sure.
Okay, so I will read this aloud. So this is from someone on the UTEP sidelines who broke down Texas. This is what he said to Eric. Eric Nalene, the guy sitting right next to me, he said it right to him. People are going to sit in a 3-deep safety look and make arch throw to win all season. We saw that flyover, as Ian Boyd calls it, the 3-safety defense, but it doesn't have to be a 3-safety defense. It can just be a cover 3 defense. Sark has to get the run game going. Need Baxter to stay healthy and Wisner to get back. O-line isn't as good as last year. Yep. young at some critical spots. Defense overall is better. Linebackers are legit. Would expect more zone in the secondary as they start to play even competition. Wide receivers were underwhelming. Wingo looks the part but is missing something. Livingston is okay, but I don't know if he's a number 1. The punter is a weapon. Banks does a lot on special teams, which at times looks to slow guys down. You are more athletic than 95% of your schedule. Let your guys play fast. Love to hear it from the other side, right? It's a very And UTEP was basically like, look, we got the game, but we don't got the horses. Like, we can't. Y'all got better athletes, but if we were even, we had the game plan to shut you down. And so that's a big factor. Let's kind of take it in chunks here. Teams are going to sit in a 3-deep safety look and make arch throw to win all season. So what does he mean by that? Is
make Texas run. Didn't he say make Texas run?
Yeah, and he'll say that. Yeah. And so why would you sit in a 3-deep, right? We're going to limit explosives. Right. That's all you guys really have been able to lean on. San Jose State was only explosives is where you got your plays. You guys can't drive the field. So we're going to keep everything in front of us, and we're going to rally down. And you're going to have – that means Arch is going to have to hit 5-yarders, 10-yarders, 10, 12 times in a row. And he's not able to do that currently today. So first things first, and, this game plan is 1,000% right. As well. So make Texas execute in the pass. If they are going to pass, we don't think you can do it. And then forcing you to run. So what do you guys think about that? Just that first piece.
Well, I'll take it just because it ties into Burt Reynolds' question over here. Thanks, Burt. And Burt knew football. Burt played football. What can Sark reasonably fix? And, what has the biggest bang for the buck? I do think that leaning on a few certain run schemes, identifying 4 or 5 and pounding them and just keeping it simple. A lot of times the best run games only run, 3, 4, 5 plays. Right now they're pretty good at guard, tackle, counter, and maybe a couple other gap schemes, but they're not good on zone. Actually, they had a couple zones blocked pretty well that the running backs missed. That's where we got into He would go on to say that you need Baxter and Wisner back, not because they're explosive or tackle breaking, but because they knew they could read the flow of the block.
They do read it way better.
They read it way better than the young guys, and that's just an experience thing. But that's the number one thing for me is getting the interior line, the run game going. And I know everybody's focused on Arch. Look, if Arch doesn't start hitting gimmies, then it doesn't matter what the hell they do anywhere else. They're not going to be able to do anything. So, but you got to be able to run these teams out of this defense, or in tandem, have Arch kind of mimic the run game with short, easier throws, get better in RPOs, hit the running backs on swing. He missed a lot of running backs on Saturday. You can't have that. That's how you're going to run them out of that 3-high defense. But I would say number one, you got to lean on a couple run schemes that you can run effectively, fairly consistently. Baby steps right now. We just need some sort of consistency in the run game.
Yeah, I like that. Seeing that defense every day at practice at UNLV, you got to run them out of it. I always stick to more gap schemes with it, or you run guard tackle counter or H guard counter, however you want to do it. Because that middle safety really is just an extra player in the box. He comes down the field to run. But if you're running gap schemes, you're kind of running at him, right? So it helps the offensive line pick up that extra guy where you're not accounting for him most of the time. So especially with a 3-down line, you can run trap, counter all day long against that and run them out of it. You're expecting those corners to come up and contain and make tackles consistently. Corners don't want to hit. So if they want to run 3-high, make those corners get involved in run game, run some counter at them, make them take on a pulling offensive lineman. I guarantee you they won't want to do it all game, right? So, and I would just stick with it all game until they came out of it.
Yeah, so I think the real key going forward is I don't want to see a lot of pro style. We don't have the tight ends to extend the blocking surface because really, and I think Ian pointed it out, you're just increasing the odds we bust something. When you add more bodies to the line with how it's going. So I want to see Arch in the gun. I want everything to be tagged with a pull, right? So GT read, a zone read, anything like that. And then get my receivers, and it can be injuries. Injuries can be a big slot. Get those guys out of the formation, make the coverages really clear. It's like a veer and shoot, right? Why are they doing that? Because they're letting you know what they're doing. Get them out there, man. Pull if you need to, that kind of stuff. But as far as play action, under center, Arch cannot afford to turn his back to the defense. He needs to be able to see everything. So that's kind of my keys is just quarterback run. I think Arch he's been our most explosive runner. You can verify that by yards per rush as well for fans that like that metric. So keep him in the gun, zone read, run GT counter with the line, simple concepts on the outside, ideally 2x2, and then let Arch just pick whatever side he wants. And I mean, I'm just saying play college offense here. And then also Arch likes to run. The offensive line blocks well in pass blocking. Arch doesn't think so because he's trying to get out of the pocket like every chance. So, okay, great. Let's take people out of the box then. So when your habit of trying to leave the pocket, there's less guys. It's just going to look like any Saturday you turn on the TV and watch any other offense. I think that's going to have what you're going to have to lean on opposed to anything complex.
I agree. I was thinking last night that play where I think it was the interception to Wingo where he had Livingston underneath. That play crystallized a lot of what we had talked about, where he's just always trying to make a big play. That's his thing. He wants to make a big play with his legs. That's why he's getting out of a pocket, even though he has a pocket, or he's making some of those throws down the field instead of taking the first down. We saw that against Ohio State. And obviously that would have been a massive first down in that situation. He threw a pick. He's just got to take the play that's there.
Yeah. And then wide receivers were underwhelming. I mean, yeah, they're going to look underwhelming in that situation. But also, I think, to be fair, they don't freak you out when you're scouting them, right? I was getting mad at Sark. I was like, you always have this speed guy that can't do anything. Now we don't have any speed guy, like pure speed. I'm like, okay, all right, Sark. I see why you need one. You don't need all, but you need one. There's not scary speed. Livingston can be a deep threat. Wingo whenever he catches it. But as far as just, that worthy type explosiveness, we're kind of missing that. I don't know if he can be – and we also don't have any true route runners. Like, remember Worthy on that whip route or pivot or whatever in the end zone like 2 years ago where he cuts in on the slant, breaks back out, and then it's just a light touchdown? We don't have any of those like underneath route runner technicians. They're all kind of downfieldy crossers, things like that too. So we don't have a lot of like pure route skill either. It's all going to have to be downfield. So, and then of course, Arch can't hit him half the time anyway. So it's going to be tough. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't know. You go back and watch the film. I think McCutcheon do it, but he's a baby. I think Parker Livingstone does. I think Blake brought it up. Parker can run, decent routes. And it's getting better. I would say, other than that, DeAndre Moore, he was known for route running too, right? He has good speed, but DeAndre Moore can actually run routes.
Underneath routes, man on man, you got to win in 5 yards routes.
I think he can, just not put in that position.
I would say yes, but the timing of the passing game is off anyway. So
yeah,
true.
But that's what I'm talking about specifically. Like, you got to win on the goal line routes. I don't care about anything deep.
Well, Sark is busy trying to muscle it in against the team picture in that situation, anyways.
Yeah.
But
that's going to be my big key. Wide receiver skill underneath, and then Arch just has to complete the damn ball, man. That's the hard part, is we can sit here and diagnose and do our SWOT analysis and give you everything that we can lean on. But if Arch can't complete a swing pass, like, what do you do? So in that situation, you need to lean on the run game. Both hands are tied here, guys.
There's nothing. That's what we've been saying the first week of the season, is there's nothing they're good at on offense. So there's nothing to lean into, and therefore there's no identity.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there is an identity. I always push back against this. It's a bad identity. People always use identity as a positive. We do have an identity. We can't execute. That's the identity. Yeah. But a positive identity we do not have. So
fair.
Yeesh. Is there hope that Sark is going to just go, you know what? I'm going to forsake what I thought was going to happen. We're going to do this in SEC play. Is there any of that?
I mean, I think he's going to have to simplify things for sure. He's not going to run out and just, flail around. I think there's something to be said. We've been saying it. Ian said it. Is that he's kind of building out the full offense in parts, seeing what they can do and what they can execute. Now, right now, he's not finding a ton he can lean on, but he's going to have to run Arch. That's all there is to it. I'm not saying full hero ball, but he's going to have to run him more than he wanted to coming into the season. That was supposed to be as a threat a couple times a game, or in the big games, maybe 6 or 7. He's going to have to probably do it 6 or 7 in every game, at least. That's
more than that.
But he might be doing that not just for the run game and the yards and the picking up first downs, but also to get Arch more engaged. He said it a couple times already, which I don't know why he has to say it a couple times. It should have been once. He says, run Arch to help him get involved in the rhythm of the game. Well, that's that seems pretty obvious at this point. And it was only one truly bad. Now, it was a horrific quarter, but the other quarters were a lot better. We're never going to forget that second quarter. It was kind of like watching Quinn against Oklahoma State, which is another thing. Everybody's longing for Quinn Ewers. Like, they don't remember him going 19 for 39 and missing like 15 down the field to Worthy. Stark had him throwing in a crosswind. We've seen struggles before. People are saying that we overrate Arch. Arch is going to get out of this. It's just very frustrating to see it right now. But I do think the identity is going to have to be centered around Arch doing some hero ball stuff, which is not ideal. That's why I've been mentioning Kansas State, and we'll go into more details about if that's the route you go, you have to make changes elsewhere too. Don't go for it on fourth down so much. Play some field position, set your defense up for success. Do this crazy thing where you take a field goal. That sort of stuff.
I hate taking field goals, and Sark has broke me. I'm like, take the field goal, man. And it's funny because we appear aggressive because we're going for it on fourth down. It's just we can't do third down, so we're always in fourth. We're not actually being aggressive. Like, we're being forced into looking like we're an aggressive team, and we're just not. But we need to see Shipley more. I mean, the reality is these games are going to come down to some field goals.
It will.
Because defense lets 21 points on the board versus a good offense, which is normal. Now we're in an absolute dogfight, and fight for our lives. So,
bring up Deshae, our boy Deshae, real quick.
Any RPO offense?
Yeah,
that's any RPO offense. The first part of RPO is run, which is read option. That expands to read pass option. If gonna run RPO, gotta run the QB.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Nobody's asking for him to be Haynes King at Georgia Tech when they're running QB power and option all the time. But
But that
Man.
so when they came into this season, part of the excitement and confidence was in the RPO game with Arch. Arch has not been making great reads, has not been making good throws off of it either. He did have that one really good drive against Ohio State. Didn't net any points. I think it stalled inside the 5.
Yeah.
Was in like an 11-play drive. It was heavily influenced by RPO. Now there's some optimism if you're looking for it. But when they came into the season, it was heavy RPO, heavy counter, heavy pull, gap schemes, Arch keeping it, holding the backside. Just a lot of stuff that you think that they should be able to do on paper that we have not seen enough of.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is concerning that Kyle Flodensark didn't see our O-line talent woes earlier and bring in some transfers. What's up with that?
Well, I think they misjudged that for sure. We'd been talking, they were in the market for it, but I think they kept their standard too high. If you look at all the guys they brought in, most of them are either pretty good or, bona fide studs. I think they had that standard too high, where right now average would have been good. They had a little bit of bad luck with some guys maybe not developing like they thought, but maybe you've got to kind of see that coming. That's why I've been saying, one of the misses that they've had here is succession planning on the offensive line. Like, you knew that you were going to have heavy turnover after last season, and they should have just taken, somebody that was average. They miscalibrated there. I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, look for floor, not ceiling, I guess, in that situation. Yeah. All right, guys, before we keep going, let's hear a word from Academy.
Any gate can be a tailgate.
Quentin, thanks. Giving us some more of that cybersecurity money. Shout out, Quentin. Arch's sports psychologist will get him right. It's fine.
I bet he calls the sports psychologist uncle.
Yeah, right.
They'll get him. They'll get him right. If he's carrying the name of the Manning Passing Academy, they're going to have to get him right. This is bad.
Didn't Eli have to do sports psychology or therapy in New York? And it was like this is back when we were all idiots and we were like, a therapist? What are you, a girl? But anyway, but I think that happened with Eli in New York.
You're right.
Google, I don't know. I think the best thing they did, the best thing that they ever did for Eli was give him the best defensive line in the league. That's what.
Yeah, but I think New York was this particularly brutal market for him, and he had some struggles, and so I think that was a whole thing. And what I mean to say is that this family's not backwards on that. Yeah, and that if you work out your body, you can work out your mind too. So that's something that might be interesting with sports psychology, because there's something. I mean, it's clearly mental, right? So something's going on.
Yeah, it's something mental. His footwork in this game was pretty bad at times. He needs more time, man. He needs a lot more time. Maybe he is a 3-year starter at Texas like Quinn was, like his uncles were. If you go back and look at his uncle in their third year, they had much more experience going into their third year than he did. They had their struggles. I'm going to write this up and call it, if past this prologue, Arch will be fine. If you go look at the struggles that Peyton had at Tennessee and Eli had at Ole Miss, people were calling them busts too. Eli was going to be a bust because Peyton was so good. Peyton was going to be a bust his rookie year in the NFL when he threw like 26 picks or something ridiculous. So this is just part of the maturation process. I'm not really worried about Arch. If I'm wrong on Arch, I might as well just hang it up, because I'll never be wrong on somebody again. I'm going to have to quit. I feel fine on Arch, but it's going to take a little bit more time than we thought. And like this other gentleman said that offered a chat, a super chat. My bigger concern, as I stated earlier, is the offensive line.
Yeah, thank you, Josh Manning. Tough last name right now, brother. But you guys are gonna bounce back right now. All the Mannings are gonna bounce back. My concern isn't Arch; it's that O-line. They are putrid.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I believe in Arch. Confidence is not going to go down, man. You got to work himself out of this rut, but I think expectations, all the pressure's on his shoulders too. Everybody wanted him to be what they thought he would be. Like, let's let him play through it. Let's see how he progresses.
Yeah, I'm not on board with everybody trying to insinuate that there should be benching or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Quinn, not reading super chats first is crazy. I have to go in the flow of the conversation, because sometimes the the super chat will jump out here. Sometimes Eric's likes a chat that's further down and he picks that one. So I try to move generally because there's a lot. If I am jumping back and forth, it'll screw up the flow.
Well, hurry up and get sugarcane, Daddy.
I gotta see here. I bet the over, and this is all I have left. Good.
Well, hey, get it back this week because I think Texas is a 42-point favorite. At least I saw that on one. I don't know. Go to BetMGM. That's who our affiliation is with. But 42 points is nuts. Now, Sam Houston State is not good, to say the least. But this implies that Sark is going to figure some things out this week or work on something that they're going to use this season, and it's going to hit big, and Arch is going to go off. And Sark doesn't even run up the score when the offense is clicking.
Yeah.
So when the offense is not clicking, it's hard to see him. Like they just had 27 points against UTEP. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I'm not taking overs.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Houston State's not a good team, guys.
No.
So that defense, UNLV was killing them. And so I'm weary, right? Because I'm like, the passing game should be there. They're like in the hundreds in pass defense. So
oh my Lord.
So it's
talk about the defense.
no way. The views are the offense, brother. But yeah, so that's going to be the key. It's really the coach speak of like Texas is playing Texas again this week. That's going to be the biggest aspect. And then of course fans are always, what do you do if Arch goes and posts another bad performance? What do you do?
Play him some more.
Yeah, play through it. There's nothing you can do. I'm not putting anybody else in. Sorry.
I mean, every good player has struggles. I remember, as a young kid, Jerry Rice was a bust because he had drops his rookie year. I mean, it's just it's so common. It's always brand new to fans. Like it's like you guys watch a lot of football. You see this everywhere. Should Florida get rid of Derek Lagway? He just threw 5 picks.
Well, there is arguments to bench Lagway. Like,
that's 5 picks is tough to overcome, but
yeah,
it happens to every great player. I don't know. Fans are just.
But do you let the great player sink your season, or do you let the great player develop where they need to develop and salvage your season?
Salvage your season with a guy that threw 7 touchdowns at Troy, or what?
A guy that can complete a pass. A guy that can complete a pass.
I don't know, man. I'm aiming for ceiling long term. I don't know. I'm nowhere close to saying that they should go with Caldwell. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm with that one too. They try
not
to run
crazy to me.
too.
It's not crazy to me. If we can have a bus driver that can do that and play defensive ball, it's crazy to me to say throw the season. That's crazy to me.
They're not going to throw the season, dude. You got to let them work it out. I mean, you talk about a sports psychologist. He's going to really need one after you bench him.
True.
We're all going to need one at some point. All right. Be honest, fellas. Homer especially watched a lot of film. How good is this team? The defense is really good. Yeah.
Very good.
Here's another person equating offense with team.
Yeah. Defense is really good, man. I just got through the half of their all 22. Now, a little bit. Passing game is going to be interesting. We've had San Jose State was able to hit a lot of those in breakers. Mm-hmm. And then in the second quarter, UTEP starts hitting the seams pretty well. Mm-hmm. So that's my only thing. We give up a pretty good success rate in the pass, but we don't give up any explosivity. So my only thing with the defense I need to see is a quarterback that can actually pass. That'll be the big thing. But as far as like effort, defensive line, guys generally being on the same page, like I just love how they play, man. Like if anyone has the ball, there's just like 7 Longhorns like right there. Like Eric made a point yesterday where he said it doesn't even feel like the offense and defense are in the same program, and and that's true, man. The defensive side of the ball, I absolutely love studying everything that they have. But offense has a lot of issues. Offensive line is going to be a big issue. Lack of explosivity in the run game. We're like 129th in the country in running explosivity, and then Arch as well. So it's going to be a defensive team, and we're going to need special teams.
K-State.
Yeah, I'm down. Well, everyone was like, how's A&M good? They have Colin Klein. I'm like, everyone just hates Kansas State. Like, Will Howard was a good enough quarterback. What Colin Klein did there was, for their situation, made sense. It's like, it's just weird. It's not surprising that A&M has a good offense. It's only surprising that they're better than our offense.
Colin Klein was a good hire.
Yeah.
Mike Elko was a good hire. You just got to. Fans just don't know anything because they're just too wrapped up in emotion.
Well, they
That's
just
what it
hate
is.
anyone that's not Texas, so it ends up
Right. I mean,
blinding.
it's just.
But that's going to be a big thing. But really love what I see from the defense, man. That's what this team's about, 1,000%. And just getting into that depth, man. Like every third drive, there's new faces out there. You know, you were seeing a Colton Vosick, Lance Jackson pairing at edge, which was really cool. There, and then of course Anthony's out there, JJR making plays, covering like that was probably the best coverage rep I've seen this season about just like being totally sticky on somebody. So I just love the defense, man. They're a blast to watch. And then we'll have some content coming up here, kind of breaking down what the actual scheme is for them. And of course, we do the film study with Drew and Jet that'll give you the player perspective on the defense. So love the defense. Okay. I might have unleashed some things with my comments.
I'll come after you.
So yeah.
While you talking about defense, I gotta give a shout out to Grayson Littleton. I haven't seen. I mean, a freshman play that well, played a zone. He got his hands on a guy running up the seam, jammed him, and still got to the curl flats and made a pick. Like you don't see that from a young freshman doing that, rerouting guys and still getting to his drops because they're such in a panic. I got to get this in his zone, but he played it like a veteran. Like that dude's earning everything he's getting.
I loved the goal line sequence of UTEP earlier in the first, right? I think it was the first drive. They line up in goal line three straight times on us in the middle of the field trying to get a first down. And remember, Ohio State got that goal line against us. So that was something that I was paying attention to. And the team is just – they're on fire, man. The linebackers – the source says that the linebackers are legit, and they are, man. Like just reading flow, and then they hit. Like I just love the linebackers, dude. And they play well in one rat. You know, they'll cut off the crosser. They're just man. It's just an awesome defense. I love everybody. I think, and then Muhammad, Eric pointed out yesterday, they were testing Muhammad on screens. They were like, let's see if he'll come up and hit and tackle. And Muhammad was answering the bell every single time. So
shoulder in there, man. I love it.
Yeah.
He's more physical than people realize. He's that was on his high school tape. He punches above his weight. We got Naaman Robertson here melting down, dude. Vandy has a better quarterback than Texas. Like we don't know who Diego Pavia is.
He's a good quarterback. Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
Will he be healthy by the time he plays us, though?
Yeah, but
Josh Allen went to Wyoming, right? I mean,
other teams can have good quarterbacks.
Anybody can have a good quarterback. It's a hard thing to evaluate.
Yeah, and it's becoming harder every day. What was that recruiting picture that showed like the top 5 for whatever class Arch was in? And it's just like, man, it's like we're gonna have to start embedding recruiting cover. You're gonna have to live with the quarterback for 3 months. You're just gonna have to do a mental eval, stay in the guest room. All these things because man, it's getting trickier, man. Because
it goes far beyond having a strong arm, which the networks tend to overrate value. I'm not down on Arch, man. He needs to figure it out, but I'm not. People giving up on him. I'm bookmarking a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, you got to get out of it. And whatever that takes, I don't even know how you solve that, but yeah,
by playing them.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. You just hope that breakthrough comes sooner rather than later.
What's this one from Victor Santiago on the very bottom? Gilbo giving up 10 yards per target. Is that real?
I don't know. I'd have to see on PFF. Gilbo to me is the weak link in the secondary. So I don't know. Eric had kind of a feel for that at preseason, at least. Like if you're going to target someone, it's going to be, well, you're going to try Littleton, right? Because he's the freshman first off. And you just hope he messes up with a freshman mistake because his athleticism is not what messes up. You just hope that a scheme confuses him or something. But then after that, it's got to be Gilbo.
It seems like they have him playing off a little bit more. I think I can remember them completing one on him playing off, and then the next play he was up. Yeah, I remember that now. And then how many targets does he have? And then, of course, the Carnell Tate 3 games into the season is going to skew the numbers a little bit.
Yeah, but also Carnell Tate, like there's also that thing too, is like most fans not even only notice quarterbacks when they lose, but can only see them on broadcast when they lose. They don't exist in the broadcast, but they drop back. So it's like you literally only see them in that situation. So it's not. I'm not grading. Sometimes you get beat by a damn good early round NFL receiver. Like that happens. But yeah, I would try Gilbo if I'm like trying to attack Texas. I'd try Gilbo, see if I can trick the freshman into taking bait somewhere, something like that. But
Gilbo's only an issue against the best teams. Like Gilbo is good against 90% of this schedule.
Yeah, it's only when it gets like double movie or elite receivery that you have to pay attention. And also, this defense not putting a lot on tape, man. We're playing like pretty straight up too. So I mean, and we do that anyways. But there's not a lot of gimmicks with this defense, dude. Like we're just kind of like here. We're gonna rush 4. Yeah. Let's see if you can complete. Okay, you completed short. Who cares? 9 Longhorns are about to tackle you now. So, and we're just shutting down. There's nothing explosive happening. So that's a big factor. No gimmicks, just dogs. Yeah, and then Taft, man. Like, God, he's everywhere, dude. Like the dual awareness. Like he's like looking at the A gap, and he will make the play in the A gap. But also he's aware of the concepts. He's aware of his guys. Like just to like have that field awareness, man. Like he's
imagine Taft in that Iowa State defense, that middle safety there. He would just be like it would be he would be insanely productive. I mean, he's still productive right now. He might be leading the team in tackles, but yeah, that's what he can do. He can play the pass deep. He can play the run up close. He's just really, really complete. I just wish he was about 10 pounds heavier.
Yeah. And then McDonald too, man.
I mean, he was flying around.
He's normally the down safety. He's normally the down safety, but man, he was making plays and just a special athlete.
They want McDonald a little closer to the box because he's bigger. They're worried about both these guys, wearing down. Taft played a little closer to the box last year, and they're worried about him getting dinged up. But here's the problem: when he comes from depth, he has more speed. So now he's
the collision harder.
Yeah. So, but they need both those guys to stay healthy. But McDonald, I think people should enjoy him while they can.
Yeah. And then LaFau, man,
I'm telling you,
looks awesome. Like
he going to buckets. I don't know. You can call me out later, but that's my pick already. I'm sorry.
Well, they're trying to like take our known stars off the board. Like they're not letting the pass rush get there for Simmons. They're just not throwing deep. But our pass rush is also awesome, man. Like we contain. They're rushing as a unit. Like they're containing the court. This is important for Mateer. Like this is huge for Mateer how we play this, because Michigan just acts like there's 4 separate guys that don't even know each other on the field, and then Mateer is just carving them up because everyone's trying to get it in the stat line. But Texas is like they just condense the pocket together. They move at the same rate. Like this is really crucial for those running quarterbacks. They're doing everything right there, man. And then
speaking of rivals, Notre Dame had issues with that with Marcel Reed.
Yeah, you
get
have
too far up the field and leave an obvious running lane.
Yeah, and then they look awesome in that regard. And then a lot of teams, you're not seeing a lot of Hill because a lot of teams aren't running that way. That's also why you're seeing LaFau so much on his plate. But he had to chase a backfield out on a screen, Anthony Hill, and his closing speed still doesn't make sense for that size, like how fast he can get to guys. So I just love the defense, dude. And like I said, every other drive you get to be like, oh, cool, this young guy's on here and all that. So they get a ton of reps. Absolutely enjoy it. All right, guys, before we keep going, let's hear a word from Andre the Lawyer.
Texans know when you're injured, there's one name that gets results. Andre the Lawyer. Trust the team that has secured millions for their clients and helped thousands of Texans win their injury cases. Car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, wrongful deaths. Don't let the insurance companies tell you what your claim is worth. Andre the Lawyer will fight for you. His principal office is in Dallas, but they serve Texans throughout the state. So don't wait. Call 214-444-8808. That's 214-444-8808. Contact info is in the description.
Wow, really good ad. Really good ad read
there. You might have a career in voice acting. It's
my actual base personality versus when I have to do record. Like I'm literally sitting there like trying to put myself into it and get lively.
It's like when my wife talks to me and then she gets on a work call and she's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "All right." I never get that enthusiasm at all.
Yeah, people like with my Homer breakdowns, they're like, "I love your voiceover, man." But it's like when I'm this isn't even my voice this is a big key. This is a nice mic. That's for voiceover, so I can get deeper with it. So my voice sounds different on this mic, and I'm not as lively like that.
You're basically telling our viewers that they're getting the crappy version.
Yeah,
well, they're getting the one that's connected to the PC versus the one that's connected to the Mac. That's how we do it. Alrighty. Were there any other pieces? I feel like we hit a lot of that.
The very end is important, where he talks about, hey, some sort of macro changes Sark can make if he leans into the defense. And
yeah. Okay, so then at the end, after he gave us the scout on Texas, he says getting Baxter Wisner back will help. So they're not as likely to make someone miss, but even the first run of Baxter, the one play, he reads it really well. And then gets up there. That's experience. That's older backs, because we have plenty of clips of our backs making a guy miss and then just, I need to go to the sideline. I don't feel safe,
there's, and I put a couple of clips in the article that Ian put out on Twitter. You go find Ian Boyd on Twitter, and he's got a couple of these guys missing. So the young running backs, one is Gibson, one is Clark, missing an obvious lane.
Ian just cracks me up because his world is never silent, even on the clip. And it's different clips and it's different kids in the background every time. Ian just constantly is dealing with this child chaos.
Yeah, I had one when Reuben Owens committed to Texas. My kid was in the back. He was watching the highlights with me. I'm videoing, like an old man videoing with my phone. And he goes, he's fast.
Yeah.
And the Owens sent me a message talking about that. They loved it. Of course, it didn't matter. But
yeah, speaking of recruits, shout out Diabell, man. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
Out for the season. That sucks, man. It just sucks. But he's gonna be all right, man. Now it's time to grind the film, Dia. You're gonna know this scheme backwards and forwards, man.
Yeah.
And then he said he'll be here in January. So I just hate that. I hate that for him, man. That kid is such a baller.
Lord, what in the world?
All right. And then this also, Eric, be nice. $30. Thank you for fair weather fans. If Arch does not improve, will this become a Jackson Arnold situation in the portal this summer? We need the Cal quarterback. Quick thing. Jack injuries has got to be in hell right now because he's in Cal, like this most dysfunctional offense. And he's like, I'm about to go to Texas and showcase, baby. And then now he's out there like, Jesus, man. So I just remember watching injuries be like this. Come on, man. Maybe injuries is bad luck, guys. I don't know. But I always noticed that with injuries. Like, God. All right, Eric, what do you think, man?
Well, what does he mean by if Arch does not improve? If he plays like he did yesterday or Saturday?
Right.
I mean, that's not even something I'm willing to entertain. I don't see that. Like that is like some of the worst quarterback play you would ever see. It's far worse than anything you'd ever see from Garrett Gilbert. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Sark is ever going to give up on Arch Manning. And this reminds me of when Sark had his struggles and he was on the hot seat. I said it's more likely that Sark gets poached by the NFL than it is that he ever gets fired by Texas. It's more likely that Arch goes number 1 overall than he's ever in the transfer portal.
Yeah. And then, hey, man, this is going to be – I was thinking this yesterday. This is going to be the toughest coaching job for them in their modern era. Like, we're going to have to see real coaching. I'm not just talking Arch. I'm talking about schemes and, like, trying to figure this out. Like,
they're going to have to change it starts with themselves. They're going to have to change the way they go about it, like you were alluding to earlier, college offense instead of pro offense. And they're going to have to lean in the quarterback run game more than they ever have. And Arch is tough enough to do it. And if Arch isn't really making the throws, he's going to want to do it. He wants to take off and run. We see that all the time. Now Sark might get a call from an elder Manning. What's going on? But hey, look, you got to win some football games. There are high expectations. You can't waste the defense. There's a path to winning a lot of games with a strong running game, with a strong quarterback run game. He's going to have to hit some throws. He's still going to have to hit some throws no matter what. I know he wants that Livingston one back, but he's gonna improve. I'm not. But I think to what you're saying, the coaching staff has their toughest job, but it starts with themselves.
It's tough for me watching Arch in post game because he's so critical of himself, and it's like it's getting him to like, look, you got to play better, but also there's no value to beating yourself up too, and so that's going to have to be something to kind of focus on with Arch. Thank you, Fairweather fans. That's a funny name. All right.
Yeah, fair weather fans aren't giving $30 in the super chat on the YouTube channel on a Monday morning.
Yeah. And so that's going to be the big thing. But man, it's tough. We can't pretend to understand the situation that Arch is in, where you're the heir apparent. You've chosen none of this. And if you remember SC Media days, he's constantly trying to be like, I don't know why y'all are doing this. I don't know why y'all are hyping me. I don't know. And then, there was a joke where he was like, whenever I had my first bad performance, looking forward to that. There was a lot of Arch being like, y'all need to chill, man. And so that was a big kind of factor as well. You need to be able to have long drives to beat good teams. Yeah, you do. I mean, consistency. And Sark's a little too heavy on and coaches brought this up on like scheme and shots and huge plays. And that's great. But you don't want that to be the only focus in practice. If everything is just building up to a shot and then you miss the shot, I think it freaks the team out. And we do that often where we're just running to get the play action to hit the shot. We're not running. We love to run. And I think that's kind of a big factor as well. All right.
Of course.
Coach, you said you wanted to see these. I got them for you.
Oh, man. You got your numbers?
I got some numbers real quick we can hit. All right. So this is the offense right now. We call this a Christmas tree in the analytics business, right? You like to just see all green, but there's like things that work well and things that don't work well and all of that. So yards per play, we're 71st right now. This is the big thing. We have 136 teams in FBS now. We're 133rd in explosiveness, just kind of overall. What we are doing well in is havoc rate. They're not getting a ton of sacks on us. They're not frustrating us. So if we can just tell Arch, like, look, you're fine back there. Like when we're talking about the O-line, we're talking about run blocking. Like you have time. That's a huge thing that's really important. We're destroying ourselves. Like they're not doing it to us. So we just have to learn that. That's really important. Rushing explosivity, 130th in the country. So I don't think this gets solved with our personnel. So it's just, hey, get what's blocked for, run the concepts that we know we get all of what is blocked for, and then try to drive that way. Because what's interesting is our offensive line yards aren't that bad on average. So it's not that. We're just struggling in power success rate, third and gotta have it, fourth and gotta have it, which is a sign of strength and execution. So
Monday downs is terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then here we get to the passing offense. Passing success rate 114th in the country, so not able to string any drives together. That's tough.
That is. Sheesh.
Yards per pass 82nd. And then, like we said, we're really good in QB sack. That's because the line's good at protection generally, and also Arch is the one here. Here's a positive with Arch. He's not getting sacked. Like he feels the pocket well, and he maneuvers really well. Sometimes it's not even there, and he maneuvers well. But that's a huge strength. Lean on that, right? Like that's an important. If we're looking for bright sides here, that's something you can lean on. Is that the pass protection is allowing time.
Yeah, and one person not bringing him down. I mean, he strikes people off so easily. Yeah. A strong dude.
So let him do that, Passing down success rate when we get stuck behind the sticks, 115th. We're not able to do that, and that's because we have a pretty bad average third down distance, 94th. So our average third down distance is 7.4 yards. So it means half the time it's worse than that. But execute on early downs, man. All third down means is you can execute on first and second. So simple concepts on first and second. Don't trick yourself too much. Of course, red zone has to get better. So not good, guys. Like not good. But you have to lean into what we're good at. Quarterback in the gun. Simple college offense. Zone read. Run GT counter. Run it 70% of the time.
All day long.
Involve the tight end occasionally. In that regard, either as to pull against the formation and lead block for Arch on a pull, or the opposite direction. Because people get this wrong. You need zone and counter to work together. Because if you just run counter, the tight end is always taking you to the ball. you have to have zone because the tight end goes the other way, or else every time where the ball's going. You have to be able to run zone with counter. So that'll be a big thing going forward. But those are the offensive numbers. It is what it is. But spread guys out, keep guys out of the box, let Arch run. Let's play college offense.
Look at that Kelson stat. Oh, my gosh.
It's my stat. It's right.
Yeah. Man, I can't read all that.
Yeah, 7.42.
Yeah, 7.42.
Distance. Yeah,
I got 47-year-old eyes at this point, man.
It's tough. Paul's always like right here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but yeah, that's why I track all this stuff.
Yeah.
For my pure tape watchers, you have to do both, right? Because go ahead and watch the tape and then tell me all this information. Were you able to clock that on every single play? So you need the stats and then you need the tape. That's what
yes, I understand that. I did not know it was that freaking.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the chat.
That's just that is an insane stat.
Yeah. And so
all right, Fairweather, hit us back again. These guys are more than Fairweather fans, I'm starting to think.
All right.
Yeah,
Oregon sucked the first 2 games last year, and then they won the Big Ten. What are the chances we turn into a top 60 offense? It's much more reasonable. I don't mind missing the playoffs, but wasting this defense would be tragic.
I wouldn't mind missing the playoffs. Sark definitely didn't come into the season thinking anything other than national championship. So they miscalibrated. It's time to figure out some stuff. Will Stein, so Oregon never should have had those struggles. They had the pieces in place. They had a very experienced quarterback. They had plenty of explosive. They had some decent offensive linemen. I think that was more of an anomaly. They had much more slack in the rope to start playing better offense than what we're seeing right now out of Texas. So I can't equate those two. But I don't lower the bar just because they're not. They start off slow. The expectations were to make the playoffs at a bare minimum. So I don't, you don't lower expectations because then you start making excuses.
Yeah. And the playoffs question is this a top 12 team? That's the question, because playoffs feel really is this team a top 12 team? That's what we have to figure out. But I do like the Fairweather fans ask top 60 offense, because in the preseason people were like, when are we going to get to like a top 5 offense? It's like, we're not. So 60 is at least
with this defense. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But it's a defensive team. Like, we just have to totally change our mindset of like, Sark's going to hit shots and we're going to score 30 plus. Like, we're going to have to play a real different style. That's going to be a major factor. Thank you again, Fairweather.
Ryan Nelson says Oregon O-line was getting whooped early by Idaho in week 1. Yeah, but they had more overall talent than what Texas is working with. The tape is really, really bad on the Texas O-line. I watched all 22 yesterday morning, and there were times I was sending clips to the guys internally, not stuff I'd even put out public. It was that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric was not in a good mood after seeing that. It's tricky. And coach has been on it since pretty much game 1. Coach has been like, all right, we'll see, man. Yeah, but top 60 much more attainable than going from not elite to elite, for sure. I'm not a ball knower like y'all, but we make offense look really, really hard. So schematically, we did in this game. I don't know if you're just talking about the offense makes offense look hard. That I agree with. But I thought Sark was it was much more reasonable. Like, he was going into the gun a lot towards the end. He was letting Arch keep it no matter what. Like, he wasn't being stubborn this game, and he was trying to do really easy things for Arch. But once again, it's like, I can't judge Sark when the quarterback can't complete swing passes. Like, that's going to make everyone look like their scheme doesn't work, Exactly. So that's where it's really tough in that regard. But also, he had a bad game, but the second quarter is what soured everyone. Like, if I just showed you the first, third, and fourth, you'd be like, not great, right? But the second quarter is where he had a 4.9 passer rating. I've never even seen that before. I've never even heard of that. I could do better than a 4.9. I'm confident. So that was just a weird one for sure. But we got to let Arch be Arch, guys. Who would be Arch's security blanket if they were 4-3, for example? Would it be
injuries?
Yeah.
Injuries and Livingston. And Livingston makes that catch late in the game where the guy's all over him and he has to bobble it like 3 times.
Yeah.
But that was an important moment for me. It seemed really small, probably to most, but I was like, okay, like, that's fighting for the ball and like making a play in a situation too. So
He's got good hands. Uses his whole catch radius. He's got the ability to make plays for the quarterback for sure. It doesn't have to be a perfect throw for him.
Yeah,
Andrews is just so reliable and has really good hands. The catch that he made that ended the game against Ohio State, he got drilled, came up short of the first down, but still held onto the ball.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of those two guys. What's the best matchup?
Yeah, and he had that 90% plus catch rate. Injuries and then probably Livingston when it matters. And he loves Livingston. Like, he works to Livingston's side of the offense a lot. Right. He's like, he favors Livingston for whatever reason. And then, of course, the Wingo Arch connection, always kind of strange. Shout out, though. Hey. Nice throw to Wingo in the end zone. We finally got one. Has a running back scored for us?
I don't think so. Arch is a poacher, man.
I know. He zone reads it and steals it. He steals the touchdowns down there. But I don't think we have a running back that's scored a touchdown yet, which is pretty wild.
How you reckon? Look,
no, I don't think. I'm pretty sure they have that running back is not.
But Eric's right. Arch does steal it, and so yeah, that's going to be the big thing. Is it normal for Texas fans to boo their generational QB? To be fair, they booed the offense. It was after a 3-and-out. Now, Arch was a big part of why the offense wasn't working, but it wasn't just like a Manning. Like, it was the product is not good enough for us. Boo. I don't think. Yeah, when I was watching that in real time, I was like, yeah, and I'm booing as a fan to me doesn't make any sense. It's like it's not going to help anything. But it felt like it was on the overall offense, not just Arch. It's not like Garrett Gilbert. Garrett Gilbert got booed because he was coming back in like he was him going out on the field by himself, and everybody started booing, which is brutal. Booing is the fans' version of asking to speak to the manager.
Yeah,
and so it was just to say, look, like,
it's never worked. Fans don't want to win more than the coaches on the sideline. Coaches are doing everything they can to win. You don't care 1/10, and you're crazy about it, but you don't care 1/10 as much as Steve Sarkisian does when it comes to winning.
So with our fans, man, we're booing coaches throwing stuff on the field against Herman versus Maryland. I don't know what's up, man.
Our fans are getting a little rowdy, dude. We're getting a little SEC ready, dude. The water bottles is one of the most legendary Texas football moments I've ever seen. I absolutely.
Oh, the Georgia one? Now that was against the referees and the ref. That
was hilarious. No, I'm saying the fans are getting rowdy. Like,
I can't condone that, but I'm not really in a hurry to condemn.
It was hilarious. That's what I could say. And then they changed the call, which is like totally gave the fans the wrong message there. It's like, even if you're wrong, you almost just have to stand by it because all you
can't incentivize that. So
and they did. Fan is short for fanatic for a reason. 1,000%, man.
Yeah.
The tribalism's wild. I know fans are getting mad at on the board because we're doing around the league with Cord, right? So we're bringing on different content creators from other teams because they know their teams better than we do. I hate watching people break down Texas. It's the worst. I'm just like, wrong, and so we're bringing in fans to actually give you good information. And the board was like, how can an A&M person be on the board? I'm like, because they know their team, guys. We get a little too tribal at times. It's a little tricky. All right, I don't have a ton more, guys. What do we want to see versus Sam Houston State?
Same things I wanted to see coming into this game.
Correct.
I'm still wanting
third downs. We want to see situational football, red zone and third downs, Arch completing balls, run game, getting what's blocked for at least, and then maybe give me a cherry on top.
I want to see them play their best 5 offensive linemen. They're not. If they're doing that right now, then there's just massive trouble. They need to play their best 5 offensive linemen in their best positions. I don't think they're doing that right now. They need to make some changes this week, and Arch needs to, have a much, much better game. That's what I want to see. Really, the whole season boils down to whether or not they can get competent run game, and Arch being, slightly above average as a passer and leaning into his run game.
Yeah, is that a change at center? Is that like to change guard, or like is that getting?
I don't care what that can't be their best 5. If that's their best 5, then it's going to be a long season.
Yeah. Look, he's spot on with that. We saw an uptick in the return game finally in special teams, right?
Oh yeah.
More improvement on that, and no penalties won.
How did Connor Robertson do at center? I didn't make it that far.
I haven't studied him specifically. I noticed when he was in the game. I think he trips. So I don't know what
they all trip. These guys are like Rocky before he started jumping.
Dude,
ropes.
they can't. They cannot stay up, dude. And like,
Yeah,
and he didn't even trip over a foot. And then Gooseby had one too. And I'm like, what is going on, man? Like, what? And I think it's got to be our base is too wide. Like, because if your base is too skinny, you're going to get knocked over. If your base is too wide, you're going to get knocked over. Like, that can be the only thing. It has to be a technique thing because they're all going down, man, like all the time. And so I don't know what the hell is going on with offensive line not being able to stay upright. It's pretty wild, dude.
The O-line needs a montage, a sports training montage. You know, it just shows them getting better, working out in the morning, eating raw eggs.
Yeah, beating up cow carcasses. So yeah, it's pretty trippy. Did y'all notice everybody tripping over Stroh's? They all trip all over everything. Like tackles trip. Like it's so strange, man. And like sometimes I'll see them trip over someone's foot, but that's only half the time. Like sometimes they're just like, I don't get it, man.
All over. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to hit up like a couple O-line coaches and be like, what is going on here? Because it's pretty wild.
We should send the all 22 to one of our guys. He's an O-line coach. He's a great O-line coach.
Yeah.
Let's see what he thinks. He's a little bit busy this time of year. That's the only problem.
Yeah, it's hard talking to coaches in season. Hey, will you break down a team you're not going to play? Nope. Nope. We got the crosstown rival coming in.
No, yeah. Use this for your own edification. This is what not to do.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Yeah, there was one snap where 4 of them were on their backside. Yeah.
There was one where 3 of them were laying on top of each other. It's like that old picture of the Aggie Yell guys that are all stacked up on top of one another.
Dude, yeah.
Oh, boy, it's bad.
This is what I was thinking about, Drew. This is why there's no spring game. I didn't think because of that, but I thought, they still do all their scrimmages and practices and stuff like that. But I was like, man, the spring game just selfishly would have helped me, like Eric's fancy guy and all his sources. But for like the normal folk like me, I'm like, maybe we could have saw some of this coming if I could have actually seen.
We saw Arch tear it up in the spring game the year before.
We did.
Arch lit it up. Everybody's excited. Trey Owens lit it up spring game before. Yeah, I don't know about this all O-line though. It's definitely taking some of the wind out of my sails. I can't, but I do want to see Sark's got his back against the wall with this team. I'm curious to see what he comes up with. We're going to learn a lot about Sark in the next month.
Yeah,
without
a doubt. All right, guys. Today we got a bunch of content coming your way. A lot. So we're gonna have the press conference reaction. We're gonna do Nash and Evans show. Reheat might get moved to tomorrow, but we should have reheat, all of this stuff, guys. So a lot of stuff. And then, of course, tomorrow morning on the live is me and Paul breaking down the old Bearcats. And it's really sad because that's like a legendary FCS, squad. Like, and they're in a different realm right now. Mm-hmm. They're having to rebuild, and they're trying to force them into an air raid offense with a quarterback that can't throw well and is a runner.
So you're saying lay the 42 points?
No.
Okay. All right.
The frustrating part is there were a couple times I was trying to take notes from Longo on what we need to do with our offense with limited quarterback play. Like that was the reality of some of it. So yeah, it's Texas versus Texas next week, guys. That's going to be the absolute key. You guys should go to InsideTexas.com. It's a website. We talk about Texas football all the time, year round, recruiting analysis as well, and football analysis. Ian and Paul are going to bring it to you. Get a full year of The Athletic as well, guys, on top of that. Chat, thank y'all. Have a wonderful day. And this was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Peace.